This video is brought to you by Roguedeckbuilder.com. Purchase a playmat today and help us make the move to our new studio. We have over 10 playmats to choose from. Visit Roguedeckbuilder.com. Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with match number 2 with our UI Heroics. Yes, we'd like to play first. This hand is okay. It's okay. Not the greatest, not a terrible hand. We have 4 lands. 4 lands will be nice for the Hero of Irios to kind of go crazy if we can get into some strings of enchantments, Ordeal of Thassa's here. We do have 2, or we would have 1 scry land. I think that we'll go first turn Tranquil Cove as it comes into play tapped, and I don't want to see a land, but we want to keep everything else on top. Pretty much anything on top is fine. So maybe we'll just Temple of Enlightenment and get rid of like a land, or if we do end up with like a Soldier of Pantheon, I think that's the time to actually ditch it is right now. I don't think it's Soldier of Pantheon really is a great 1-drop. It doesn't play a good 2 or 3 turn role as it begins to be outclassed. Again, I'm still trying to figure out if I actually like it in this deck or not. So our opponent keeps his hand. We'll Temple of Enlightenment. And yes, okay, that ended up being the right decision as we get a Plains out of the way. And next turn we'll go Flooded Strand and probably sack it to go get us just a basic Plains, just so we can thin out our deck. Well, no, because we just shuffled one on the bottom. I guess it doesn't do much. But we'll play Hero of Irios here. And then we'll be able to protect him from then on out with the Feat of Resistance. Might actually just throw out a Bramaz next turn, depending on what we're up against. It looks like some sort of green heroic deck. So we'll go ahead and attack in with the Hero of Irios. And I'm not going to pump. I'd rather have a Bramaz out so he can definitely call my bluff here if he wants, but ends up getting in for free 2 damage. And then we will Flooded Strand, go and get a Plains, and throw out Mr. Bramaz. So far so good. We have a pretty powerful attack coming next turn. And if he missed a land drop here, it looks like, oh, just, yeah, but Courser, and he does find the Wooded Foothills. So he's a Naya type build with Xenagos. What other shenanigans would he have? So Feat of Resistance, put a Wolf's counter. Yes, it can kill the Courser. Crewfix at this point is worth the trade here. I think we can just go ahead and attack in with everything. And if he does decide to block, then we Feat and get rid of that Courser, as it is quite annoying of a card. Our Hero of Irios is definitely getting close to, well, it's going to be out of range. Just even with 1 Feat of Resistance, it's out of range for Anger of Gods. I'm sure it just blocks the token here. And maybe just take 5. Oh, please, please, please make that trade. Oh, this is great. We'll Feat of Resistance. Puts +1/+1 counter on it, as well as Pro Green. Does he have a Magma Spray, though? And unfortunately, I should have played a land first if he has a Magma Spray in his hand. And it looks like he does, so now I'm going to be kicking myself. As if I would have played a land here or Flooded Strand, there's no way he could Magma Spray here. No, it's okay. It's okay. Because either he messed up, or, yep, we'll just give pro green here. And he loses it. Oh, he wanted to get another life. Okay, so not Magma Spray there. So he just wanted to get more value out of Courser. before it did die. And then we can kill off the courser, which really hurts his devotion. And then it's going to be Fled to Strand because I want to keep up the feat just in case he's got something. We can get another white's fine. And that's cool because we have a cat soldier as well. Launch the Fleet is looking amazing at this point. It's going to put in a lot of tokens to overwhelm. If he goes Xenagos here, I think we just keep bashing towards him rather than Xenagos. Xenagos is going to have to play a more defensive role. It's going to be Pelucranos. Pelucranos is fine. Again, it's not a card that I'm too scared about. With the Hero of Irios. Oh, I guess he does just stalemates the Bramaz, though. We'll play this Tranquil Cove. And I believe we'll just attack him with the Hero of Irios. His Devotion will be back online, especially with Xenagos, but this is going to get in here for at least 4. And we'll have a Seeker as well. If he wants to make this trade, then I guess we'll be out of removal. But at least Pelucranos is out of the way. And then we'll have a 6/6 hero. So he's just going to let 4 go through. We'll keep the Feat of Resistance up. He's down to an 11. Seeker's going to come out. And he can generate decent mana again if he chucks out Xenagos. Now he really can't even generate that great of mana if he pumps out Xenagos. And it's going to be a Voyaging Satyr, which for 4 he can pump out another Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, and he'll have 6 mana to do with what as he pleases. And it's going to be a Genesis Hydra for 4, which only finds him a Banishing Light, which I'll be able to Feat of Resistance in response. So Feat of Resistance. Which is going to be pro white. Which makes the Banishing Light fizzle. But Pelucranos is still very real. So now I'm kicking myself for taking out like suspension fields and whatnot. We do need to draw into some way to give him unblockable, as he just has a lot of potential. So he blocks. What does he do here? Can we do enough damage though if we launch the fleet? It makes the Seeker a 3/3. He can block though. He can block all 3 of my big guys, and then I lose probably Bramaz. And then I'd only get 4 guys going through. I think I just Seeker. Tack in maybe with the Hero of Irios. Other than if he blocks the Pelucranos and Genesis Hydra, I could be in trouble. But I don't think I can give him more turns. I think I have to try to go for some sort of... I mean, he's most likely just going to throw Voyaging Satyr under the Hero of Irios. So... yeah, this is... and he can generate... we already saw he can generate a pretty decent amount of mana. So do I have another turn is what I'm trying to decide. So 5 goes through, he loses at least a Voyaging Satyr. Or he loses a Genesis Hydra. I lose a Bramaz and probably a Seeker. I don't think it's quite worth it. So we'll throw out the Seeker and pass the turn to him. And he knows that I've had 2 Feat of Resistances. I don't know if he wants to really risk getting Pelucranos big to fight off anything. Looks like Xenagos is just going to come down. And he can definitely add 4, which then can tap for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana with the Nykthos Shrine of Nyx. Oh, he's got untap as well. I forgot about that Voyaging Satyr. So 14 mana, which can do 7 damage to the hero. I mean, he's risking it though. If I had another God's Willing or Feat of Resistance, then I'd be fine. Where is he going to split it is the question. He's going to split it Bramaz and Seeker, and that's going to be backbreaking. It still allows me to come out of this, to somewhat come out of this. He's got 3 cards still in hand, though. I just believe I'm going to be outdrawn here. This deck is so Nykthos Shrine of Nyx dependent, though. If it doesn't get Nykthos Shrine of Nyx, a lot of times you can just go right through them quick. So, let's see. Can we draw into anything here? Ordeal Thassa is interesting. It puts a counter on the Hero of Ireos. Another counter on the Hero of Ireos. But, again, I can't let him just go crazy. And Launch the Fleet still does not get up above what... We could risk it here. And I might need to. I'm going to give myself one more turn. Because I have to attack for this to happen. And I'd have 2 chances to hit an Ajani's Presence, which still might not do much. Ajani's Presence would make it indestructible. Launch the Fleet would put up to an 8/8. We'd have 2 chances. This might be my only hope, though. I think it might end up being the right move. But I'd have to keep at least 2 mana for a God's Willing or Johnny's Presence. Which one would be better? I think I can launch the Fleet with all of them. Because that puts up to an 8/8. A Johnny's Presence puts up to a 9/9, a 10/10, 11/11. And then we'd be able to kill everything. Launch the Fleet, I can attack in and kill off Xenagos. So maybe I do just launch. I'm going to try it and just hope for... Because I know I can't hit another Feat of Resistance. The only thing that I can hit is a God's Willing. And that's like the one saving thing I can do. So it's going to be launch the Fleet on here, here, and here. Which prowesses up the Seeker, puts a counter on the hero, and we really just have to go for broke here. So I'm going to attack the Seeker into the Xenagos, making him, he'll have to trade with the Genesis Hydra there, and that will hurt down his Devotion. And I guess I just have to rely on 2 cards being drawn and just try to luck out here. So this at Xenagos, this at Nazgul, and this at Nazgul. It's going to put him a counter up here. And then he's got to play around the draw cards here. And we hit it. We hit it. So Johnny's Presence will actually put him up to an 11/11. And we get a 1/1. We'll go after Lord Nazgul. and Lord Nazgul. And now he has to block the hero. He could actually block the Seeker. But this allows my hero to live. He keeps his Genesis Hydra, though. He's going to take 3. So Johnny's presence on the hero, which gives him +1/+1 until end of turn. And also makes the Seeker pump up to give me some more life. And we kill the Polukranos, kill the Xenagos, and go up to 24 with a guy back. And we have a huge 10/10 that sure can be Banishing Lighted, but I mean, this really hit his devotion hard. He only has 4 devotion on board. Don't know what he can do. If he's got another Genesis Hydra, he can try to find some more Banishing Lights or something. But a 10/10 is going to be hard for him to deal with. Just a Polukranos, another, and then he can fight off. Just the Seeker, though, is all he can really do. No, he's got a Nylea. That's actually pretty decent. That's actually really decent. So we need another. Bondkin is not very good. It gives him first strike, which against an indestructible god is pretty much not what you want to see. He can block 3, so he could block here, 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 and just take 2. So it's just going to be the Bondkin, and we will throw out a Fabled Hero. And now we need to hit something, another Strive, another Johnny's Presence or something. Too bad he had 2 Polukranos in his hand. Can he actually, how much mana can he generate? He could probably generate an obscene amount of mana here. And Nylea is the perfect thing for the mana dump. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 devotion. So there's 7 through here. He untaps and creates 12, 13. He has 13 mana. So he actually can't get. Oh yeah, but no. Okay, I'm thinking it's the other one gives Death Touch, not the Bow of Nylea gives Death Touch, not Nylea herself. She gives Trample. So there goes the untapping of the Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. And he's got 12 mana, yep, 13 mana, which 14 mana, which he's going to pump it all into a Genesis Hydra. Ugh, yep. See how terrible this deck is without a. Okay, he pretty much misses here, though. With not getting the greatest. He takes a Xenagos. I guess he can add more mana. And he has a 12/12 Genesis Hydra, which has Trample, but it does not have haste. And he adds 6 mana here. What is 6 mana? He's going to fight something with Polukranos? He's got an Arbor Colossus. Oy, oy, oy. But all I have to do is draw into a God's Willing, or an Aqueous Form, and this is over. But an island definitely won't do it. I don't know if I can absorb enough damage here, especially with Nylea and Xenagos creating it. So unfortunately, this is going to be game with the double Genesis Hydra. And I wish they'd give us a hate card for this Nykthos Shrine of Nyx. It's getting pretty ridiculous that, I mean, these decks are make or break with Nykthos Shrine of Nyx, and there's no way to shut it down besides shutting down their devotion, which they got rid of a ton of the key cards with that. And here he's going to, he probably has another, no, the Genesis Hydras are on the bottom, these last 2. So I think he's just going to make Polukranos incredibly huge. And it's got Trample. So 16, and he's going to split 16 damage any way he chooses. But double, we took care of one Plukernos, one Xenagos, a Courser of Crewfix. He didn't draw any lands after that. I mean, that, and the Xenagos, it really is the Genesis Hydras that won in the game. Unfortunately, this deck doesn't have a lot of ways to shut down Devotion. Pretty much any way he splits this is pretty bad for me. So he's going to split it this way, which is 16 damage. And yeah, this is going to be game as he attacks him with everything. So we will go on to the sideboard. No Banishing Lights, which would... I had Suspension Field and Banishing Lights, and I'm kicking myself because I ended up taking them out. But I'm going to bring in the third Aqueous form here. And I kind of want to... I don't think I need to bring in Swan Song. These Stubborn Denials actually aren't very good against what he's trying to do. So Battlefield Thaumaturge Glimpse could come in. Or just like the Spear of Heliod. I don't think Ordeal of Heliod needs to come in. I think the Soldier of Pantheons are weak, but if I go the Hall of Triumph Spear of Heliod, they do get stronger. If I go the Battlefield Thaumaturge, they get stronger. I'm going to try to take out, I think the weak link here is going to be the Battlewise Hoplite might not come on time. And that way we can bring in just a one of Glimpse of the Sun God. Because I want all of these, definitely want all of these. Well, First Strike actually necessary on our Arc Bonkin. I'm going to run a Battlewise Hoplite instead. And we'll go with the kind of Hall of Triumph Spear, Battlefield Thaumaturge. All the Launch the Fleets are going to come in. And Seekers are actually weaker. Yeah, Seekers are weaker than Battlewise Hoplites, I think. But this only gives us 17 creatures. We do want to maximize the amount of creatures we have out. But this is fine. So I'm going to submit this. Disdainful Strokes need to come in. Absolutely, because they counter... they counter Xenagos and Plukernos, and Plukernos is really the card that gets us. I'm not even going to worry about it. We're just going to try to out-aggro him before he can stabilize. So I'm gonna go ahead and go first. Unfortunately, I'm going to keep it. This is very bad, though. We need to draw into one land as soon as possible. We have a first-turn Soldier of Pantheon. Against his deck, a tricolored deck, this might be able to get in for a pretty decent amount of damage. And if we hit into that second land drop, we are very, very good shape. So it will just be the Soldier of Pantheon, pass turn, and hope he doesn't have a Caryatid. And we need it to top deck into that land. If not, we got the Favored Hoplite, can attack in for additional damage. If we draw into a land, then we can go on the following turn, then we can go launch the fleet on both the Soldier Pantheon and Favored Hoplite, and then just try to protect our Favored Hoplite from then on out. So he doesn't have an Elvish Mystic, that's great. We get to get in there for that 2 damage. We missed the land drop, but we'll go ahead and Favored Hoplite here. Attacking with the Soldier of the Pantheon. Get him down. But again, now it is crucial time to be hitting land drops. I don't think the Hornet's Nest is too much of a card. We got that Feat of Resistance that can come in for unblockable. The Sylvan Caryatid is something we can actually go through. There's a Temple of Enlightenment. So it would pump up either one of them big enough. I'm going to put that on top. We were going to go in and attack for 2. And we do need to slow him down, so if he does block here, we will Ajani's Presence on either one that he blocks. Hoping he blocks the Hoplite. So he's definitely thinking about it. And he lets it go through. So that's fine. I guess we just let it go through. So he can Xenagos here, which will be very hard for us to deal with. He can Plukernos, that again is going to be very obnoxious. If he just has that third turn Plukernos, That's just bad luck. 2 games in a row for us. I'd love to just see maybe a Courser crew fix. Because then I can Spear of Heliod. Gets us out of Courser range. No, it does not. Soldier Pantheon still is active. I just want to see a tap land and another Sylvan Caryatid. Just do that. Just throw in a tap land. Jog out a regular Sylvan Caryatid. Let's not hit anything that's can take care of my cards here. But it looks like, yep, that's going to be Courser. Do not find a land on top. How about find a land on top? Oh, yeah. But we can get in with the favored. I think the right play here, he's got a Caryatid coming up. The right play is going to be just to grab out this Spear of Heliod. Or if I attack in with the favored Hoplite, it does not become big enough to deal with the Courser of Crew fix. Unless I throw both an Ajani's Presence and a Feat of Resistance on. So maybe the right play is just Hero of Irios. Now, it's going to be... I'm going to Spear of Heliod here. And then pass the turn. And we just kind of get shut down by that Courser. And it found advantage. He's got Banishing Light coming up next turn, which is going to be very, very obnoxious to deal with. But, I mean, would he choose to go on the Spear of Heliod at that point? Give me a Reclamation Sage. Ugh. Just I guess he saw Hero of Irios. That doesn't really hurt us besides that. And then another Caryatid. So this is going to be Banishing Light. We're going to have to keep up with this for Banishing Light. Again, I could attack in. But at this point, I think it's just Hero of Irios. And he's pretty stabilized here at this point, especially with the Banishing Light coming down. Or like a Plukranos. And the Courser allowing him to continue to get advantage. We need to just load up one guy and try to get in there with the Feat of Resistance eventually. But again, it's going to require an Aqueous Form to really get in there for the damage. I guess we do have the Glimpse of the Sun guy that can tap down. But he's got 2 hexproof guys, so that's not an option. Yeah, I was really relying on that Spear of Heliod to get the job done. Elvish Mystic coming up, don't care about that. And he's got a Windswept Heath to actually get rid of the Elvish Mystic. So I know he's going to crack that beforehand, before he has to draw into the Elvish Mystic. We definitely need that Aqueous Form or that Ordeal of Thassa to come out. It's going to be Citizen Tactics, which they fight a creature, which after their targets, when I'm going to give Pro Green to whichever one I can get high enough. Or Indestructible on 1 works as well. That's probably better than Pro Green. Yeah, that's fine. And Banishing Light. And then he can fight in response. He can actually wipe my board here. So I just got to keep the 1 alive that I can. Yeah, that was pretty crucial. Banishing Light can come out. And now I can't, because this target creature gets... I guess I should have done that in response. So he's going to fight there. That's actually smart. And then if I used Ajani's Presence, it wouldn't even matter. Yeah, Citizen Tactics is going to get us. I was an idiot there. In response to Citizen Tactics, I should have given... No, Feat of Resistance, though, just Banishing Light's the one. Yeah, that was just a really good combination. Because this is instant speed, fights a creature. I can't get this big enough. I can Indestructible the Soldier Pantheon right here. No, it's just, we have to get board wiped. Unfortunately. There's really nothing that I could have done there. Otherwise, just lose some more cards. And we would have drawn into the Aqueous form, which is just that's just heartbreaking right now. He's got Plukernos coming up. There's no way he gets rid of that. Our really only hope is to draw into the... It looks like a Generator Hydra. A Genesis Hydra. Yep, that's going to come out for 5, and he finds the Nihilus, or the Plukernos. And that's going to be very, very rough for me to deal with, especially in response. He's got a Magma Spray coming up. He can fight. He's got a Nightghost Shrine and Nyx coming up. This is pretty much game. I think against these Devotion decks you have to run and Hostilities until this deck is completely weeded out. This version does have Xenagos or ways to come back, but we miss here. On that Citizen Tactics was definitely the deciding card in the deck. Drawing into some pretty bad cards here. Glimpse would have been okay. And the Aqueous form, if we could have had one more turn to actually stabilize, we might have been able to get the job done. So anyway, I'll play a few more games here. This is Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.